Well, this is video 67, Empire Total War United Provinces campaign. It's the summer of 1715, and we're trying to work out what we're going to do with these French that are now right in the middle of our territory. They seem to get lots and lots of troops together, these French, particularly artillery. It's a bit of a balance here as usual. Where do we go? Well, we're going to let them go all the way through and attack our main territories and our ports, or that's 2 away there, the dockyard from being produced, where I can get some nice fleets. Some nice ships and build up some bigger fleets. Might even start abandoning some smaller vessels then, actually. Just keep 1 or 2 brigs and sloops along with me. Checking out the French army, you'll see that they've got 8 gun batteries in there. 8 gun batteries, would you believe? So it is quite an awkward thing to go against, something like that. Okay, over into just checking Ceylon. If you remember now, we can recruit some better troops. So we have VOC instead of sepoys. We've got some VOC that we were given at the beginning of the game. They're sort of like regular infantry, the equivalent of regular infantry. I'm going to put those into the main fortress, the capital of Ceylon, which is, I can't remember the name of it. And I'm going to swap those with some conscripts. If you remember, I always like to have troops in a port, so it can't easily be raided. If the Marathas are going past with a nice army on a big fleet, they might just think, oh, unprotected fort, we'll have that, and then they'll go in there, and then suddenly I'm struggling with a Maratha army, and I've lost their trade income of nearly 2,000 a year as well. So anyway, that's the end of the year. I've wrecked the French economy as normal, and we're going over to the winter of 1715. I'll just show the principal nations again. Let's see what the French are going to do. Seem to be reinforcing that army there, in the middle of my territories. I've got the option to intercept that if I want, and those 2 armies that I've got on either side. Decided not to. I'm quite happy with my fortresses, thank you very much. I want you to come and get us, please. Just read the comment on the previous video. I can see why Paris looks attractive. It does a lot, I know. But you can see how the British were beaten when attacking Paris, for a start. When you hold it, it's very, very difficult. It starts on a -27 restlessness rather, and it's very hard to get that down unless you've got a lot of dragoons. So it's something that's maybe worth building towards in the future, but I certainly need some more dragoons first. Okay, that's the end of turn. We're now into the winter of 1715. I must admit, France is looking a bit tasty at the moment, now we've started to recruit dragoons. Just stealing the flying shuttle and machine tools at the moment. You'll have noticed the Prussians have gone to Southampton there as well, and those are the latest buildings to be created. Well, I've used the term Brits a few times, so I feel safe now in using the word frogs. So perhaps I shouldn't use it too often because it might be an offensive term. But we British call the French the frogs, obviously because of the of Paris was considered to be infested with frogs, and I believe there was a story as well that the Parisians themselves, when they came to the battlefields when they were fighting the English, actually had a frog on their banners as well, so they became known as frogs. So we still know them as frogs. So I know that's my excuse for using a term that people might not be happy with while I'm looking around trying to find out where the relative strengths lie. We're going to have to get this force out of Alsace Lorraine. He's left it fairly vulnerable, really. So it's who to attack it with. The main thing is distances. Am I going to be able to get there with my whole force and get back again? Because what I don't want to do is leave Alsace Lorraine totally undefended. Also, I don't want to leave it without a substantial force in it, because then I might have to lower the taxes for the whole of Europe, or even take it out of the tax system. So it's not worth doing, really. But my assessment is I can get there and back. It would be nice to have something built into the game, actually, so you can see the range of troops there and back. Other than that, what I'd be doing is stepping out all the force. Well, first of all the force, and then just using one cavalry unit and attacking with that. That would mean then that the rest of my forces would come on as reinforcements, and then I could still move everything back, possibly even the cavalry, because they have a better range. There we go. I do fight the battle. It's a boring one to watch. Not much of a fight there, so I haven't shown that battle, I'm afraid. I mean, it was pouring rain, poor visibility. Took me about 30 minutes to do. Lots of pausing, because I could hardly see what I was doing, and I didn't see any point in including that battle, I'm afraid. So there we go, back to Alsace Lorraine. It's a good earner, is Alsace Lorraine, so I really do need to get these buildings back up to strength. I could see your point on the previous video. Wiping out the French stops all this from happening. You do get new enemies, though, by the way. You know, it wouldn't just be that, hey, you're an enemy down now. You tend to get other nations that declare war against you when you've defeated a major nation like the French. So it is sometimes good to keep a weak enemy on your borders. Several times I've toyed with the idea, when he's left a large army inside my own country, just to take my army from his fort and take Paris from him, just wiping the French out of the game. But like I say, I mean, I could tax it the first turn. Second turn there'd be a rebellion, we'd be fighting that, then we'd be continually trying to get our troops back up to strength, which is draining our economy. The next turn I wouldn't be able to tax it at all. There'd probably be about 6 or 7 turns I wouldn't be able to tax it, and the population would remain restless all the time. There's a good chance as well that the French would just come back, that they'd win in their rebellion, and I'd end up with France again. There's also a good chance they'd start with a better army than the one they've got at the moment when they come back. I suppose similar to what happened at Waterloo, isn't it, really? All the old guard and the new guard coming out when there's a French Revolution. Sorry, I should say not a revolution, it's all part of the same revolution, wasn't it? It was a rebellion against the monarchy. Just looking around, considering what to do next, I think we're just going to have to leave France the way it is. Usual story, in and out of these buildings, just to wreck them as much as we possibly can. Do it down here as well, with these better buildings, the mines that generate more wealth for him. Several times in and out of there, doing the same thing, of course. I do, some of the screens that while it's stable like this, I check other screens as well, and I'm checking if I can change the tax and things. Oh, actually, I didn't take it out this time. Just check to see if I can change the tax in Europe there. See if I can improve anything. See if anything's changed now that I've beaten an army in Alsace Lorraine, for instance. Doesn't look as though I can. And it's not looking good in Ceylon either. We are highly taxing everywhere anyway, so we're over in the Americas now. Same thing, unable to do that. I do that every turn. Sometimes I just take that out because it's just a repetitive thing. You'd be watching it virtually every time. But I do check the tax levels every time in each theatre. It's just a bit of a dull thing to be watching for you all the time. Okay, if you remember, there was a school up in Curacao. I'm searching all over the place trying to find the damn place at the moment. And there we go.